All right. Um, Welcome to Gilead's Sword and Sorcery Sketchbook Live. I'm trying to take my blood pressure and do other things at the same time, which I can't do. Um, uh, yeah, it's fine. Okay. I'm on some medication that I'm wondering if I should be on, and I've had this headache today, and I'm just monitoring it. It's nothing to be alarmed about, but it is something to monitor, as it were. Um, this high-tech device here tells me I have bookmarks that I've been making that are 2.5 inches wide by 7 inches tall. Um, and I want to make some new ones, but I'd like to make them on larger paper so that they'll reduce and look a little bit better. So this paper is 11 inches tall. So I lined up 7 with 11, which gives me a percentage of original size, which I don't particularly care about. But it's like 64%, 63.5%, something like that. But 2.5 here lines up with 4. So I know that uh, having a piece of paper that's 11 inches tall instead of 7 inches tall, the width of the bookmark should now be 4 inches instead of 2.5. So now I can proceed. It's called a proportional scale. As far as I know, you can still buy them, but I don't know. I mean, I just recently bought mine back in like 1985 or something, but you can probably still get them. Let me get some of my other high-tech tools out of here. Pencils and erasers. Do you notice that there are some things in the world that just won't stop changing, like cell phones, cameras, um, internet software, potato chip flavors? They just won't stop changing. They're just constantly on the move. And then there are other things that just don't change, like, for example, pencils and erasers. Pencils and erasers are pretty much the same thing they've been for many, many years. The pens that I've been using, the little dip pens dipped into the ink, and the ink itself, not much different than it was 100 years ago. Pretty much the same thing. I've got some designs in here that were very, very definitely bookmark size, shape, uh, composition. And so I'm looking for those. I thought I had some in here. Surely I have some. Surely. Stop calling me Shirley. There's one. Here's one I don't feel like doing. I'll do it eventually. I don't feel like doing it right now. I had some things in mind. I've done some dragon ones that were very, very much in keeping with what I did yesterday and with what I feel like doing today. For example, this one. Okay. Okay. Now I could, of course, um, take that sketch right there and uh, print it on a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, put it beneath this on a light box, and just trace it out. And I'm not going to do that for the very simple reason that I'm stupid and I didn't think of it until just now. And I've got to have something to do for my video. So we're going to do this. I think that would be a good way to go. Let me see, where's my ruler? Yeah, that's 8.5 inches tall, that paper, but the sketch isn't necessarily. So that'd be a pretty good way to go for that. Perhaps next time. Perhaps next time I will have done that on a stack of sheets of paper, and so I'll already have some pencil drawings down, and then you won't have to sit here and watch me draw. You can sit here and watch me ink. Or maybe that's not really that interesting. I enjoy um, watching people do art. I enjoy people, watching paintings being created, drawings being created, uh, people doing ink work. I enjoy watching that. A lot of videos. It's pretty much what I use Instagram for. I don't use Instagram to show off that much. I've got an Instagram account and I post things when I remember, but I'll go into Instagram with every good intention of posting, and I'll just sit and watch art videos one after another, watching people paint and getting inspired and wanting to just drop what I'm doing and go paint landscapes or whatever it is that person is doing because it just looks awesome. And it is. It's awesome. But yeah, my primary reason for having Instagram at all is to watch other people do art. It's not really to show my art off. But then I thought, okay, how about if I use YouTube? I use YouTube that way also. Actually, I've got a few people that I follow. Um, I'll mention James Gurney because everybody should know about James Gurney if you like painting. Um, James Gurney is a great painter. He does both fantasy and traditional art, and his YouTube videos are mostly his traditional, um, landscapes, flowers, uh, cows, just things like that, and often subjects that surprise you, like. Uh, I remember one time he was like, my wife's shopping in the grocery store. I don't like shopping. Um, and there was some snow on the ground, but it was starting to melt. And the plow had been through and had piled up this big heap of dirty snow. You know how if there's been a snow plow, the snow is just piled up and it's all brown and horrible looking. And So off to the side of the parking lot, there was this pile of dirty snow, and he said, "That caught my eye. I'm gonna paint that." And he did this gorgeous painting of this grocery store parking lot with a heap of yucky brown snow and off to the side. Great! It was absolutely a terrific painting. Um, but that's one of his many strengths is to see something wonderful in the ordinary and capture the wonderfulness of it, which makes his extraordinary paintings somehow more extraordinary, is the fact that he knows how to do that. So I really enjoy watching James Gurney. It's called The Gurney Journey. Gurney, Gurney. The Gurney Journey. You're going to think, I've never heard of him, and then you're going to go look at his work and go, oh yeah, I've seen that. So I like everything. I like to see um, somebody do some inking, and frequently the videos are very short, so this is right in the middle of a drawing, and you're just watching a section. It's edifying, um, but you're not watching the whole thing get done from one end to the other. And certainly that would make better a better YouTube video, a better Instagram or TikTok or YouTube Shorts or whatever. That would all be better with uh, just a segment, you know. So if I started with this drawing already done, and you watched me ink around the face or something for 30 seconds, and then finished. So yesterday, I think I mentioned this, but I discovered that a short has to be no more than 3 minutes long on YouTube. So I'd made this series of videos already of painting a dragon, and most of them are over 3 minutes long. So one or two are going to wind up listed as shorts, and the rest are going to be listed as videos. I don't know what happens when somebody says, "Oh, I want to watch that whole series." Hopefully, they can do so. Wind up in the wrong place, but it's frustrating to not know that ahead of time. So I think it's possible to create clips out of the middle of your Facebook Live video, save those clips elsewhere, and post them. It would be good if I could do exactly that and delete the sound just in case my air conditioner just kicks in. Oh, look, the air conditioner just kicked in. Or, the neighbors are being noisy, or I start cussing. I didn't used to cuss when I was a young lad. I didn't cuss at all. Not once, not ever. And then I got a job in a factory. After a few years of that, not a minute went by I wasn't cussing. I couldn't get out a sentence without cussing 6 times. And the first job I got after the factory was in retail. And I realized, oh no, I cannot be cussing when you work in retail. I've got to get over that habit. And guess what? I have not. Even though that was 30 years ago, I still cuss a lot. But a lot less than I used to. But a lot more than I used to before I used to. A lot more than the first used to, not the second used to. Trying not to. I really would like to have uh, to be able to do public presentations and not be feared. Oh God, he's a loose cannon. He's going to say dirty words. Can't have the kids around. There's some point in your life where you're proud of being a loose cannon. Somebody calls you a loose cannon, you're like, yeah, I'm a loose cannon. And then there's a point in your life where you realize it's not really a compliment. I mean, some people are going to laugh when they say it, but someone's going to say, "Oh, the guy's a bit of a loose cannon," and then a potential customer is going to go, "Okay, well, never mind. Let's go, kids." They ask you on YouTube, "Is this video made for children?" And in mine, the answer is no. But I hesitate to say that because I don't know if I'm declaring that my video is inappropriate for children, or if it's just the fact that I had uh, grown-ups in mind when I did the video. It's just people that I know, people that I hang out with. I don't know any children, so was I thinking children when I made this video? No, absolutely not. on a day-to-day basis, I barely remember the existence or the fact of the existence of children. But I think it's all right. There's a further question. If you say no, there is a drop down that says, should this be age restricted, 18 and over? And I say no to that either. So nothing about it that I think kids ought to not see. I just am assuming my audience to be grown-ups. I could be wrong. One time I made a series of coloring books, and of course I knew coloring books. Um, I'm appealing to children, and to my surprise, it turned out that by and large my coloring books didn't wind up in the hands of children. They were bought by adults for themselves or for their friends, also adults, and relatively few children colored in them. Some did, but some people have kept them in pristine condition on their shelf. And I've said, no, no. You're supposed to give it to your children and have them tear it up so that you come back and buy another one and another and another. I have comments. Stellar's here, John and Kevin. And John says, I ran across some pencils that were lead sandwiched in some kind of plastic instead of wood, and they flexed enough to crack the lead from end to end, making it impossible to sharpen and have a segment of lead just fall out. I put them all in the circular file. That sounds like the correct thing to do with that. And John says, I enjoy watching people make art too, obviously. Yeah. Kevin says, you probably thought of this, but could you use the short to promote the series? Well, of course, I have not thought about that. And have a series of videos on YouTube set up as a playlist and use the short to direct people to it. Well, that's really interesting. I knew you could do a playlist, but I thought that was just for you to say, "Oh, I want to listen to my playlist." Um, but I didn't know you can make a playlist for other people to look at. But that's very good. That's very good. Thank you. Um, and where did my comments go? They're gone. Not sure if Facebook Shorts have restrictions about promoting external content. When I was building augmented reality filters for Instagram, you couldn't link to external sites. Cussing is just sentence enhancing. Yes. If you ever need help with video editing, let me know. Okay. How shall I put this? Kevin, I need help with video editing. I don't have an immediate plan, but yeah, I've got to uh, do some things like take a, and that didn't work at all. Like take this video maybe and hack it up into 3-minute segments so that I could put it out there as YouTube Shorts. Oh, this sounds so weird. It's like this would have been gibberish for most of my life. YouTube Shorts. But yeah, I want to take this video and hack it into little 3-minute segments. Well, with the dialogue attached to the 3-minute segments, the dialogue will be gibberish. And so I want to remove the dialogue. And if I had access to copyright free music, I know that's a thing on Facebook, but I don't know if you pay for that stuff. Or what you do. I know there's a thing you can click, and I haven't done it. But you can put music, overlaid over your videos. I know that's a thing. I don't know how it works. Kevin says happy to help. Cool, very cool. Another option would be to speed up your videos, sort of like time lapses, and add commentary after the fact. I would love to do that. I knew somebody who did that, and that worked really well for their videos. Because I think they would have been extremely long videos if not. And they cut out all the bits where they got up and walked out of the room to make coffee or go to the bathroom or something. The camera was just sitting there, and they just left it and cut out the interruptions. I don't get it. I often see a video editor thing with little slide bars and things, or sometimes there's a button that says, clip, and so you click the button that says clip, and then you're staring at a screen with a picture of your video, and and I don't know what is supposed to be happening here, but there's nothing happening here. And and then it's a different screen that has the little slide bars, but you do the slide bars, and there's no button that says that's my selection. Select. You just slide bars around and then close it and go to bed with a headache. I know there really is one. There really is a button. There really is a way to do it. I'm just not registering that. And if computers could actually think, they would be sitting here going, geez, what an idiot. I fed it to you on the end of a spoon. But I can't tell. The overall effect of what I'm doing here is making this line darker, but it's also trying to make it look like the upper lip is thick and wraps around and comes back so that casting a shadow, there's a bit of a shadow behind this tooth, a little shadow under this lip. Not properly a lip the way you and I have lips, but it's a lip in the sense that you have to call it something. All instances where a cat appears, use that as a separate short and ultimately a montage of cat appearances. I think that's really where the money is right there. People are going to be like, I have no idea what sword and sorcery is, but it's got cats in it, so I'm in. The last batch of cats we had, um, they were born outside. They were sweet to us, not all that sweet to each other. As they got older, they fought um, some, and I mean, most of the time they got along, but they did fight some, and they had all the bad habits of unneutered cats, even though we had them all fixed. I guess we waited too long. So the boys would spray, and the girls even seemed to want to scent mark something, so they'd go piss on it, and yeah, they get territorial, and they they want to fight, and we ultimately had to put them outside. We couldn't have them indoors. They were destructive, and needed their elbow room. I mean, we wound up throwing away some nice furniture because um, it was a great big soaked up cat pee thing, and in the house that we left behind, I didn't mind the fact that people had to do some work on that because we got badly treated there. But and I don't mean the recent house that we left. I mean the house before that. Um, but yeah, I mean there were spots on the carpet that just still smell after years. I've been trying to clean it out for years, and I couldn't get it. So when we moved to the next house, we said, you know what, we really can't. We can't have them in here. We shouldn't have had them in there, inside in there. We can't do it here. It's a rental. So that's when we moved to the house on Olive Street, and we let all the cats out in the backyard, fearing that they'd wander off. Um, you know, go on the street and get hit by a car or something like that. Um, they didn't have the freedom to go do that at the other place. They had a porch that was kind of caged in, out in the back, so they that was their world, the house and the back porch. We didn't have that at the rental, so we said, well, we've really got no choice. They've got to roam, and got to just hope. We're providing for them. We got food and water, and our company and the company of their siblings, and hopefully they want that, and they won't wander off, and they won't desert us. But we were prepared for them to do it, and then we lived there for 12 years, and they didn't desert us. They stayed with us, sort of. Um, they they would all wander the neighborhood a little bit. Um, well, not Thumper. He couldn't climb the fence. He was not able to climb the fence. And then the two girls um, were Sockers and Speedy, and I'm confident they could have climbed the fence if they wanted to, but they just didn't seem inclined. So that left two boys, Hunter and um, Tiger, and they were tough tomcats, even though they'd been fixed, and they wanted to roam the neighborhood. They wanted to fight other cats, and they did. Oh my God, they did. And they fought each other. Thumper was a boy, but he was a special needs boy, and pretty much they didn't fight with him. They fought with each other and they left him alone. But they would wander sometimes and they'd get hurt sometimes and they'd be across the street. I'd be yelling at them, "Get over here." And then they'd hesitate until a car was coming and then they'd start running and I'd go, "No, stop! Stay there! Stay where you are!" Um, and it was a constant worry, just a constant worry, and I always felt, that we'd done wrong by them, that we needed to have them fixed earlier, or train them better, or found a way to cage them up out back. With put a cage around the entire yard so that they had access to the entire yard, but they couldn't get away. It was kind of a wild and impractical thought, but something I thought all the time. It's just like, I wish I could do that. Tried various ways. I did spend a lot of money attempting to do that very thing, but they were dumb ideas and they didn't work. Um, so the final two um, were Tiger and Thumper. They lived for 15 years. And Thumper never wandered. Tiger got where he didn't wander far, and um, was never gone long. But it always worried us when he left. Hunter, the year before he died, he disappeared for like a month one time, and then just showed up. I mean, we were sure he was dead. I mean, he had to be dead. Had him for 13 years at that point. He'd never disappeared on us, and then all of a sudden, gone for a month. And then he was with us for a couple months, and then he left, and he was gone for 2 months, 3 months. I'm not sure. I think it was over 2 months. And then he's just there, like it's nothing, you know. Um, so we were glad he came back, but we were still wishing he wouldn't do that. And these kitties that we have now, they're really good about being inside. But they do want to go out. And they're very, very flighty. If they got out, they would run. And if something scared them, they would run harder. And if something else would scare them, and they'd run more. And they'd just run and run and run until we lose them forever. Um, one of them has gotten out twice, and it was a very, very difficult thing for me to get them back. And I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Well, okay, I'll amend that. I think I may have, in fact, had a heart attack. Uh, my chest hurt a lot, and I had sharp pains going up my neck and down my left arm. Um, yeah, my heart was hammering because I'm in terrible shape. And I said all of that to say this: um, if you can help it, don't have an indoor-outdoor cat. Have an indoor cat. Bring your cat indoors. And if you can't bring your cat indoors, we have, since that time, discovered something called catnetting. Um, if you're interested, ask me and I'll send you a link. I don't have it right on at the tip of my fingers. but I will send you a link, and it's a net material, big, heavy screen, um, and it's made of like nylon or something. But there's also stainless steel woven into the nylon threads, and yeah, it's quite indestructible. And they've got um, on the website, they've got like whole catio kits that they can sell you. You could make a multiple different sizes of enclosures that you could have your animals in. And if I if I'm ever in a position of having a house again, having a yard for my kitties to go run and play in, I mean, that yard is going to be completely encompassed in catnet. Um, there will be there's no openings. They're gonna have netting everywhere. And I don't know how I'm gonna pull that off, but if it ever takes place, um, it will be because we've got a friend who had a cat run off, um, and was gone for days, just recently, and I think yesterday the cat came back acting like nothing was amiss, and this guy had turned himself inside out. I mean, he was really, really wrecked. So we're sending him the link about the cat netting. And Lori says, "Beautiful dragon, thank you." And Stellar says, "If you guys want to come over and give a tutorial on editing videos, I could do dinner this Sunday. I plan to do pasta and sauce." That makes me happy on several levels. I'm going to get a spaghetti, and I might have company, and I might learn how to do videos, and and maybe Evan and Christy will think Stellar was talking to them, and they'll come over, and it'll be a party. And Sharon and John will. I'll show you how to make videos, and they'll come over, and this will be great. So if you know how to make videos, come on over. We're gonna have pasta, and I'll draw dragons. You guys can film me, and we'll edit videos. All right. Until then, or maybe not until then, today is Wednesday. We do have doctor things tomorrow because we just don't seem to know how to get through a week without doing that. But we may very well be back here in time to do a video tomorrow. So if that's the case, I'll see you then. And if not the case, I won't see you then. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.